Hello folks. It's been quite a while since we've done a video of Firefall, hasn't it? We're here at lovely Copacabana checking out the resort directory. Now this game just got pushed to Steam recently and they're launching in a couple days. They finally put out version 1.0, so they're quote unquote going live. And the town hasn't changed much, but the game's changed quite a bit since the last few videos. You got all sorts of beams of light and new icons, and completely reworked all the stations. It's a bit to take in. The first thing's the battle frame station. You can no longer change your frame at the garage like you used to. And as you see here, it shows their levels. They have introduced a level system since the last patch, which is a pretty daring move considering they're going live in a few days. They didn't really have time to test it at all, and of course, some things got left behind in the process, or completely forgotten about. But that's all the frames you can get right now, and they've got a fourth one for the Dreadnought. I've not touched it or bothered with it, so... Click that, you change your frame. Simple. You might notice the color I've got on my Warframe. It's a rare drop from the Blackwater Anomaly instance. Final one of the main mission. I don't know how rare it is, but I've run it twice and it's only dropped once. Can't really tell you much about the rate that way. But it shares with all the frames, so you can paint them all the same if you like. And now there's one thing that I'm assuming is a bug, or an oversight, like I said with the new patch. Let's say you wanted to unlock one of these new frames, but you had no idea how. It doesn't really tell you right here.
Hi there.
You think, well, I'll click the more info button and find out how to get them. Yeah. It takes you straight to the Red Bean store. That's their cash currency. You want to unlock a new frame? Come buy it. Now, the thing is, there are two other ways to get it. Someone can buy it first and then put it on the market. So let's say I wanted to unlock the Dragonfly. Pilot license. 8 of them for 6,499 credits, which is their middle currency. If you ever played Neverwinter, it's basically equivalent to Astral Diamonds. You can convert Crystite into credits at a rate of 25 per, with daily limits, of course, to keep the economy in check. Or you can simply sell Red Bean currency to get it. Just take the shortcut if you've got a lot of money. So, in a way, it's kind of pay to win in that manner. Because if you buy the red beans, you sell them for credits. Then you come over here and you buy guns and whatever else. Buy frame. Buy weapons. Buy abilities. Assuming someone has one up. And as you see, they've added the standard white, green, blue, purple. As well as a few interesting, I don't know what that black box is doing there. But there's some prefixes on some of the skills. You'll see in the tooltip it says increased range and potency if it's blitz. There we go, cooled. Cooldown reduction, which is kind of a big thing these days. Got a 60-second cooldown on that. And in the current patch, that's another oversight. Note the deployable health, 1600 HP. And then look at mine, and I'm a low health class. What they did was they scaled up player health, they scaled up mob damage, but they forgot to scale up turret health to compensate, so they pretty much get one shot at the moment, and I assume it's a bug. There's no way they could leave a crippling thing like that in for a whole class. It's even worse on these with 500. But there's another modifier there that a lot of engineer players will like, prolific. It lets you deploy an extra one, because by default you would have 3. Pretty decent. But with prolific you get a 4th. And that works on the big ones too. Max deployment 1. I opted not to use that though. I've got 1 for cooldown, 1 for duration to make it actually worth dropping more often, and a mixed color 1, which is swift, cooldown, and force. And force, I'm not really sure what force affects, it's either the potency or something like that. It may not even count on the turret. But they've also added this whole slot system, pretty much just like Diablo gem slots. Got a red one, a yellow one, and a blue one. They can take mixed colors like green and orange in the yellow, purple and green in the blue, orange and purple in the red. And as you can see from my inventory, you'll see a lot of white ones. The good ones don't drop very often. Which is where this comes in, of course. At the moment, their actual level has no bearing on what boosts it gives other than a slight power boost. Like, say, this level 11 blue barrage module. It gives 21% to all the bonuses and gives a power rating of 8. But this level 33 one is 21, but power 19. So you get the same recharge and other bonuses, but you only get a little more rating. I'm assuming they're going to tweak that later too, because I mean, why would you even bother with higher level ones if the lower ones are just as good? I don't think 5 or 6 power rating is going to make much of a difference. In the Battle Frame Garage, it's really just used for 2 things now. Because you see it's the same window I brought up with my normal inventory. It just opens up the paint shop and the repair. That's pretty much it. Well, and selecting your perks, you can't do it away from a garage. This system, yeah, it's alright. I feel like they could have done it a little better, because some of the options just are meh at best. I've got 3 of the 4 damage reduction ones on. I'm avoiding the run speeds because I don't really need it. Reloads, etc. Health regen helps a bit. And there's a bunch of miscellaneous ones. Some are unlocked by leveling other frames. Like this one comes from having Engineer, and it's Engineer exclusive. There's some that you can unlock that are unlocked by one class but can be used by all of them. Like this. It was unlocked by my Mammoth, but my Engineer is using it. And that shield boost is there to boost this, the Overseer perk that shields all my stuff. Which is that shield right there. It's nice that they turned that into a perk instead of an equipable module. The new U hasn't really done much change. Same old stuff. I honestly don't know if they've added anything to this, frankly. I do know they added a couple new voices, though.
Get some. Kill shot. Got you. Got you clocked around the ear hole.
I like the British one. Still not a ton of options as far as this goes, but there's a few. I don't like how it warps the face and makes it look so retarded. But hey, if you want to look retarded, go for it. That was a reward from the home game PvP event outside Sunken Harbor. I got lucky to come in and grab it and then knock a few people out on my way out. And it looks like maintenance is about to kick in, so I've got to finish up. Crafting has changed quite a bit. This part's the same, but the UI for the rest of it's changed quite a bit. They took out professions, thankfully, which were in a recent patch, and they were a terrible idea to begin with, where you could only make items that you were specialized in, which locked a lot of people out of pretty much everything. You could either make weapons, abilities, or cores. But now everyone can make everything, assuming they research it first, so that's a little more fair. I don't really think anyone's going to pay 5,400 research points for level 8 blues, so that still needs some tweaking. But basically you research that unlocks that, and the ability to go down, and you can just keep going across. You see I've unlocked some of the green ones here for the engineer. I haven't gone very far yet, though. Research points are apparently very limited. And there's the general knowledge with health and thumpers. And there are no longer resources in the game, so to speak. There's no more fluorite, no more brass, bronze, quartzite, and crap like that. You just have iron, tungsten, steel, and I think uranium. That's all you can thump for anymore. And this dark crystite crap's for the melding pushback event over in Devil's Tusk. So, if you were an old player and you're wondering, well, how do we make things if there's no longer minerals and whatnot? They've streamlined it into having the metals thumped, the organic crap dropped from mobs, and then humans drop the tech crap. Cores are the one, I guess, shared slot between all the classes that anyone can use. You can either make health ones, health regen, run speed, jet power, jet energy, etc. Most people go with the health one at the moment because there's no reason to use the others. There's all the secondary weapons. You research those as a group rather than one by one. All the crafting separated by classes. The different turrets, the shields, everything. Weaponry too. All the consumables. The only thing that still comes in packs though is the sonic detonator. You might see some of these are pretty expensive to make now, especially for a single one. Chitin fibers come from refining... I don't remember what it was. It was some sort of creature drop. I think it was shell parts or shells, something like that. You refine that into chitin fibers. Carbon powder comes from bone parts that you refine. Semiconductors are dropped by Chosen and the Bandits. Blue ones can sometimes be found when you refine a lot of a smaller material. Like if you refine 200 iron, you might get 5, 10 blue stuff. Iron plates, that's what it was. Thumpers haven't really changed much. They're still tiered, they're still squad and personal. The waves are a little more randomized now, though. There's some of the hybrids you gotta make for high-end stuff. I don't touch it. And that's a new inventory screen. They've changed it again. You can either do it in a list like this, or turn it to the old style where you see the weapons and icons. I prefer the list one because it takes up less space. You see I got a purple run speed battle frame core. That's probably not going to be very good. Even though it's purple, it's still run speed. And down here you see we've still got a inventory limit now, which is even worse. Because all these items I've been getting, some that I'm saving for other frames when they level up, you've got to decide whether to keep it or not. You start with 155 every time that you expand it with this button. It costs 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. red beans to expand, and it only expands 10 slots. But for the salvage, it's pretty simple. You just either drag the icon down to these little squares, or you simply click it. And it puts it over there. It clips at the moment because they didn't think that through, but they'll fix that. What else do I want to salvage? Then click the green check mark. And you see what you get. Some more green materials, crystite, and research points. That's the biggest way to get research points right now. And up here there's the reusable items tab. They don't count towards the inventory limit, thankfully, but there's not that many either. Got your thumpers, your cobra, LGV, glider pads. You get the adventure for exploring all the locations, and it's got a half-hour cooldown. And if you're VIP, you get a 2-minute one that shares cooldowns with all other pads. But it gives you this fancy rainbow effect. Rainbow wings. And as you see, most gliders will let you give a boost of speed right when you first jump off of them. Kind of help them make them more useful. That's not too bad. And the LGV. Very useful, but very expensive now to get. I'm lucky that I got mine in the beta. Pretty useful for getting from point A to point B quick. Not so good in towns. Too many things to bump into. And I'm a terrible driver on top of that. The job board. Marked in every town that has them. Well, I think the rest are too far to see, but they're in every town. And it randomly generates 4 different quests that give you all these nice rewards. At the moment, though, they're brand new, so they're not very well thought out. Almost all of them consist of go to point A 900 meters away, do something. Go to 900 meters away in a different direction, do something. Go back 900 meters, do something. Then go 900 meters to town and turn it in. Yeah. There's escort ones too later on, but apparently the AI for those is horrible. People are complaining left and right about that. And that leaves one more thing. You remember how you used to, not right click, but hit tab on the map to see where minerals were? Trace quantities everywhere. But now you'll also see that they're also level restricted. Well, not really restricted, but labeled 1 to 5, 6 to 9, 10 to 13, 10 to 13, etc., all the way up to 24. And that's pretty much how they got it set up now. You can still go to other places that are above your level, but you'll have a hard time fighting them now because they scale up properly. And as you see, there's a lot less places to go now too, including Antarctica is disabled. They haven't redone it for the new levels yet. So all you've got to go on is Surtau, which is actually part of Coral Forest. See this spot right over here? Those roads lead into Surtau, and then there's a bunch more towns over here. So they finally pushed back the melding after 3 freaking years. And it's all desert. Desert, desert, desert. Forest, desert. They're also, I think that area is 28 to 35, maybe?
Hi there.
Something like that. And their new little roulette machine. You can either spend red beans to get gold tokens or the reward one. Silver ones you can craft for 2,500 crystite each. They give you the samurai set and a battle frame station and wing. Gold you can buy for red beans. That's they're all reusable versions and an LGV. And copper, which is one of the rewards from the job board. And it looks like my time's up before the server maintenance. So here's hoping they'll fix some of this stuff by launch, and maybe we'll see how that goes after it becomes public. Until next time, folks.